Frequently, when students first take an aerial yoga class, they're quite surprised at the intensity of the sensations that they feel, either within the body, but sometimes, and a lot of times, just specifically from how the hammock, where it holds you and how that feels to be held so strongly by what would normally be considered a soft cloth. So we have some ways to help minimize or mitigate some of the intense sensations if it gets to be too much for you, if it's uncomfortable, right? Let me give you an example, and I'll show you one of the ways to make the position more comfortable for you. So I'm coming into chair position, and the hammock is wrapped around my rib cage. So for some people, this is a little too constricting, and it maybe digs into the skin or the muscles a little bit too much on the back. So one of the ways you can make it feel more comfortable is simply to spread the hammock out. It is fabric, after all, so it's not that hard when you don't have your weight in it to stretch it a little bit, open it up, make it cover more surface area on your back. And that way when you come back to chair, it's not so concentrated in just one specific spot. That will make it more comfortable. There's another way you can attend to potential discomfort from the hammock, and that is by understanding what is happening with this fabric. Now, when I open up the fabric, I sort of open it up, do a little swaying side to side like this, and you can see it easily unfurls because it is only fabric. But the center unfurls and the edges have a tendency to roll up on themselves. If you put your hand on the inside of this hammock area here and press down with your hand, you'll feel the fabric stretches. But when it's rolled up on itself, if you put your hand right on the edge and press down, you'll feel that it kind of bites into your hand a little bit because it just doesn't stretch as much. So it's a simple fix. All you have to do is unroll that edge. It's going to have a tendency to roll back up, so you unroll it when you're not in it and then sort of stretch it out a little bit, or hold the unroll once you come. Let's say I was going to come to sit in it, right? Hold that unrolled until I come to sit in it. Yeah? Now, the thing is that it's not that you can't unroll it when you're in it as well. It depends on the situation. If I go back to my rib hang in my chair position, if I'm feeling the edge, I lean back a little, find where that edge is, and simply unroll it, maybe fold the edge part so that it's somewhere in the gathers of the hammock and not right against my skin. And that took literally, 2 seconds to do. That was not a lot of time, but it just took the awareness of knowing that, it could be the edge and I just have to move the edge or unroll it a little. Okay? Now, the third way is probably the easiest way to manage discomfort, and it is one of the more comfortable ways, it can be very desirous, but it does require a little bit of extra equipment, and that is either a really thick towel or a thick blanket of some sort. You don't want it too thick so that it interrupts or doesn't allow you to really fold over the hammock or use the hammock the way you'd want to, but it does need to be thick enough to make a difference. So I've got a folded blanket, as you can see, and all I have to do is drape it, still folded, over the hammock. Yeah, just like that. It almost looks like I was starting to create a burrito, with the hammock being the contents of the burrito. And now as I come into my chair pose, there's a lot of layers of cushioning between my body and the actual hammock, which gets tight as it's holding your body weight. Let's not forget that with yoga, what we're really trying to do with these yoga positions, these physical body positions, is get ourselves to a place where we can deep breathe and stay for a while. So if the feeling and the sensation you're getting from the hammock is actually a little too intense or even drifts into uncomfortable, you're never going to get to that place where you can mentally relax and deep breathe. So it gets in the way. Yeah, so don't be afraid and don't be hesitant to just make it more comfortable for yourself.